what he wrote is true, I believe. I believe Prop 22 is for Uber and it's for Lyft. I don't believe it has the driver's best interest at heart. I don't believe Uber and Lyft have their best interests at heart. And I really want to focus on this one little part of the article. Even though he elaborated in more detail, I think this is kind of important. But it's become clear to me that this is only possible because countless drivers are spending their personal time sitting in their cars, waiting to pick up a ride completely unpaid. Workers are subsidizing the product with their free labor. Now, I'm saying this for the end because I might want to cut this part out and turn it into its own video. You might remember how a few weeks ago, not a few weeks ago, it was like a couple months ago now, actually, at this point, where I went on a live stream with Uberman Tampa, Dark Road Run, Rideshare Dixie, and the Driver Sensei. And the Driver Sensei made the argument that the reason people still do Uber and Lyft is because of money. You know, he made the example like, well, would I starve? Maybe I'd starve. Would I let my wife starve? I don't know. Would I let my kids starve? Heck no. So I will do what I have to put food on my kids' plates. I think it's always been a very striking thing that he uses that example as a reason to, not get rid or to vote yes on Prop 22 when I see that as an example of why you should vote no on Prop 22. Now, to also give you a little bit of framework where I am right now, I've been listening to videos as podcasts at work from a YouTuber called Illuminati. And Illuminati is a YouTuber who basically looks at corrupt corporations and CEOs and does a history on what makes the corporation corrupt and what makes the CEO corrupt and what sometimes leads to the fall for some of these CEOs. I'm going somewhere with this, so bear with me. One of the things that she frequently discusses are companies that are selling products like oil snake salesmen, like particularly health products. Like you have a woman selling something called Jilly Juice, who is selling a product, this juice, and she is claiming it will cure your diabetes, it will cure your cancer, it could regrow a limb. This is the secret to all health. When health experts, test it and they say this has way too much salt, you could actually have a stroke if you drink this stuff, and it's not good for you. Another example, people who sell alternatives to vaccines. This exists apparently. There are people out there who give away recipes online, who actually encourage people to drink bleach, and they say this will work better than a vaccination. And yeah, I know on the surface you're laughing. I'm getting to something. Hold on. And they actually encourage people like, yeah, don't get vaccinated because that might cause autism. But drink bleach. Drink this liquid that has this much amount of bleach in it because it has this ingredient and you can cure your autism. Now, most people looking at these situations would look at these situations and say that's wrong. And the government rightfully shuts these organizations down. And they shut these organizations down for a reason. Because they prey on desperate people and they're selling something that's dangerous. And you stop and think about, look, I could describe these situations and they sound totally ridiculous. Why on earth would you ever give your money to one of these wackos and do something so stupid and dangerous? Why would you ever do that? Like a functioning adult, like a thinking adult should be able to see that this is a scam. There's no miracle anything. And yet, what shocked me about these stories was how much money these products actually did in fact make. Because I did not anticipate the element of just how much desperate people there really are in the world. And these are people who look at this They probably know in their heart it's not real. But here's the thing. They are so desperate to get better that they will try any sort of alternate medicine they can get their hands on. And what that medicine usually does is it makes the problem worse. In some cases, it kills them faster. Someone has an incurable sickness, they go to an alternative medicine specialist, buy a product, and it not only doesn't help them, it makes them die faster. And in their desperation to live a longer life, they have shortened their life. And this is the reason why we look at it, and it's not okay. And the government does shut most of these people down when they can. Now then, with that said, let's look at the gig economy. It is true everyone has their different reasons for driving rideshare, but I've noticed increasingly, more and more increasingly, like Driver Sensei says, that people are desperate for money, especially right now. We're in a pandemic. We're in a pandemic and there's not a lot of work. We're going to take the work where we can. I have taken on some work to help pay the bills because you know what? The pandemic has definitely affected, the Apptrepreneur empire, if you will. The sponsors are not spending as much money, and neither is YouTube clicks. So you know what? Hey, I got to do what I got to do. Got a job. There you go. But here's the thing. There's not a lot of jobs out there. I am fortunate that I got a job. If I did not have a job, I probably would have turned back to Postmates to bring something in. The problem is I would be doing that knowing that in the long run, it would cost me more money to do Postmates than they'd be paying out. Some people don't even realize this much. They just need money. They need a job. They need to do something. And the barrier to entry for Uber, Lyft, Postmates, it's all very, very small. And so they sign up for it and they start doing it. And they feel good for a little while because money is coming in. But what they're not seeing is, unless you're like keeping tabs on your miles and stuff, which you'd be surprised how many people don't do that. This is going to cost you a heck of a lot in taxes. They're really not paying you for the wear and tear on your vehicle. Your car will die faster. If you get sick, you have to take a few days off. And at that point, you've missed a paycheck and you are so screwed on that one. And people always end up losing in this game. They never win. And when you are one of the rare king of the 2K club people and you're fine, one day, I can't snap, but snap, you're deactivated. Lost your money. And Uber preys on these people. They prey on everyone. These drivers, they're like the classic oil snakes, snake oilsmen, where it's like, hey, come on here, you'll be your own boss, have your own business, you can make up to this much an hour, and they've always done it. And I think when you stop and you really realize that, and you look at the two side by side, the people selling the health supplements and lying about the fact that you will get better when they know you will not, and in fact it's dangerous, and you have the gig economy where they promise you will make money and you can be your own business when they know that in fact you will be consistently losing money. I don't see much of a difference personally. I find it strange that a lot of people look at the health wacko selling the Jilly Juice and saying that's wrong, you should go to jail because you're selling a dangerous product. And you look at the gig economy, it's like, well, the drivers know that's fine. Why is it fine? In both situations, adults are participating in the transactions. Willing adults are participating, whether they buy the Jilly Juice or whether they drive for Uber, losing money. But in both cases, one of the adults that are participating is desperate enough to do anything. Anything. I want to get better. So I don't care if the doctors say that the Jilly Juice might give me a stroke and shorten my life. I'm going to buy it. I don't care if it's going to lose me money in the long run. My kid's hungry. I gotta do it. Meanwhile, in both situations, the people doing the sales pitch, they're making out like bandits, laughing all the way to the bank. And so, for those reasons, I have personally decided that I will definitely be voting no on Prop 22. You can vote on Prop 22 if you want. I'm not telling you what to do. You have to read the bill. You have to read the pros and cons. You have to come to your own decision on this one. I can't make that decision for you. But the more I look at Uber and Lyft, I've kind of just come to the conclusion, and I came to this conclusion a long time ago, but I really think you should consider that if what Uber and Lyft is doing is predatory by nature, and in fact, if anything is predatory by nature, then it probably either should not exist or it needs to change so that it's not predatory. Because for it to be predatory and for it to be knowingly predatory, that's just not humane in my opinion. That's not humane. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the topic. I would like to know what you think about it. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.